So then, we are back with more understandings from the time of the Second Tabernacle services, where we find the Aramaic English translation of the word. This translation comes from the original manuscripts of the prophets of the Tzayelic lineage. So then we can understand the time of the end as per Yirmiyahu the prophet. We find layers of understanding of the spring feast, the autumn feast, and also the returning of the cities of the Messiah laid waste for many centuries. As we read then Yirmiyahu the prophet, let's then make an evaluation why then Israel destroyed this great prophet, and what was the reason to doing so. Obviously then Yirmiyahu was explaining what was the situation with Israel during his time, and the nation of Israel did not like him because he was not speaking in favor of the niceties or conveniences where the nation was expecting to be heading towards. Obviously, when the nation then does not like, as far as Yirmiyahu the prophet not speaking positively of their own plans, then they simply destroy. That's why the Messiah himself has said, "O Israel, Israel, you are then destroying the prophets that God has sent you." Because he knew people were evil. Now we have a choice in this life in wanting to save our own souls. As we understand, the Messiah has said only a very few people are going to be saved. Why? Because the Holy Instructions are giving us understandings of the Holy Instructions, the Torah, and what the Torah should be for us. It is a way of life. We must love to obey the Torah. And this love we then acquire by our own discipline of studying the Holy Instructions. It's not given to us by a lightning bolt from heaven. Each person must make a decision of studying the Holy Instructions and loving to obeying it. So then, whatsoever the instructions has given us, we should maintain the Holy Instructions and what the Messiah has done and understanding Revelation. So then, when he speaks, the whole counsel must be then obviously part of our lives, so then we are saved. And incredibly, there are so many nations in this world wanting the niceties and conveniences of this age, and they don't understand the holy milk that was stolen from the holy cities are then in a world, so many people involved with them, and they don't even know where it's coming from. Then in Luke we find then that those people who are not acquainted with the holy instructions and tabernacling, those are going to be caught doing nice things at the end. They're giving to relationships and having a family, and having a barn and planting and sowing and so on and so forth. And they're going to be caught unawares. So the milva should be using only and given to only those who are then obedient as far as this tabernacling is concerned. But then the world, as far as we can understand, they hate tabernacling because it reminds them how evil they are. So let's understand then what's going on in the United States as far as what the U.S. has built in the last few years that is giving us the indication of then a holy city coming. Now we can understand this because U.S. has built a fortified city in the Ozarks. So the government of the United States ignorantly, not knowing the holy instructions, and because they had the wrong translation, they decide to build a place over there in the Ozarks where they thought themselves as the elite of the world, then leading the world from underground. Imagine how crazy this concept is as far as what U.S. has built. A huge place underground, many miles underground, a 12 city with 12 gates, and they think they're going to be leading the world from underground. However, nobody taught them as far as the new system coming via internet. Now, what are they going to do underground? And then understanding tabernacling, so they can understand they are absolutely wrong as far as having a city underground. And then the new system coming via internet. So US has spent a lot of money in a bogus city where there is no reason for having it. So then, it shows you how people sometimes, when they refuse to understand the whole counsel, then they get themselves in big trouble. Now, what they have built over there in Noah's Ark is absolutely ridiculous. It is stupidity beyond measure. So then, what's going on with Israel? Israel is doing the humdrum things as ever. As far as the unbelieving Israel, they are wishing for this stupid third temple, and makes absolutely no sense. The Messiah already said, not a stone is going to be left upon another, so therefore there won't be a third temple. And the Messiah was explaining precisely where the existing temple of his time was at. As far as his presence, or then the presence of the divine presence being in the midst of a temple, never again. So what the Hebrews want, what the Jews want, those who are not from the lineage of understanding of the Messiah, they want a third temple. And we do know that they are going to build somewhere, because Daniel the prophet explains in the abomination that makes desolate. Abomination that makes desolate is reinstitution of the sacrificial system. Because though the holy instructions or the Torah was given, and then the Messiah came and completed the spring feast, so then the sacrificial system was then completed. Israel is going to try to reinstitute sacrifices for no reason. It's absolutely an abomination. And makes desolate because there is no way out of it, and there is no reason for it. Because the spirit of Elohim was already dispersed. So then, United States and Israel, Gog and Magog. That's what so many people, they wanted this knowledge for quite some time. There are people studying their entire lives. And Gog and Magog is United States and Israel. They have a form of God, but they deny the power. The power is Ruach HaKodesh. 7 spirits of Elohim, 7 functions, and these are given to those Hebrews who are then obedient to what the Messiah said to do and observe, based upon the completion that was then provided by the Messiah himself when he completed the spring feast, and then he trained his people for then 1,000 years, and these people then they were obedient. Then came 1,000 years of the city. Cities were no more, and because of the miltha that was stolen from the holy cities, then Nahashatan has taken this miltha, this life-giving source, and he built his own kingdom for 1,000 years. Thus the deception of churches and so on and so forth, as far as the means of salvation. Not saying that churches are bad, because they help a lot of people and so on and so forth, but the meaning and the outcome of these institution is absolutely no salvation whatsoever. They are only being nice. And then we are during the time of the restoration period, where then the Messiah himself indicated at the end of time would come, and the prophet Yeshayahu said, and the cities of the Messiah laid waste for many centuries. And the cities that were laid waste for many centuries, they would be then reconstructed. Thus the directives of the nations once again becoming active, and the functions, the 7 spirits of Elohim, 7 functions once again leading the world. That's where we are at. As far as what nations are wishing for themselves, they're absolutely scoundrels. This is what they are. Because though they understand the holy instructions, they refuse to do the way the Messiah has taught them. And China already leads 57% of the world's trade. Brazil is bankrupt, is a nation absolutely sunk in bad habits and thieves in the government. It is absolutely a bankrupt nation. U.S. is on its way of becoming absolutely a total insolvency. Israel is in a bad shape as far as the economy is concerned. And a couple of boys over there who are trying to voice it out, they were fired because the existing government could not cope with the truth of it. And then the ignorant people of the world, they think, oh, because the new system goes against Israel. It does not go against Israel. What new system provides is a way for people then to have jobs so they can go to work. And because then the people do not have the understanding of revelation, they are ignorant. And they do not want to understand, neither read. Then they go to the humdrum situations and then manipulating the future and then becoming convenience once again. That's why the Messiah has said only a few people are going to find a way. Only a few are going to be saved. So then, as far as the Torah, very important document. Now what the Messiah has said is the whole council should be then taken into consideration. Not only the Torah. The Torah, the prophets, the writings, and what the Messiah has done, completed the spring feast and the autumn and Revelation. These then should be absolutely together with the Torah. Then a person is truly saved. So then you can understand how few are going to find a way, because a lot of people, they had said, oh, laws of the Mosaic law was abolished. What they are saying of themselves is they are abolished. And then the completion of the spring feast, circumcision is extremely important, must be done, as per the instructions of Moses. And then striving for tabernacling. That's where we are at. As far as the holy instructions, we are then in Daniel, the 11th chapter, verses 8 and 9, waiting for this year, then, the kingdom of the north going to Egypt, or vice versa, and making a deals regarding arms. Egypt must receive lots of arms from the Soviet Union. From then on, we can understand the Arab world, they are already receiving lots of leadership because they have lowered the price of oil. In this way, then it can promote a whole lot more many countries to become more productive. And China leads the way because they have the most important economy of the world. So then, as far as we can gather from this information, we have a whole lot more to say as far as Revelation itself, because it is the means of salvation. So please stay tuned. Much more coming up.